Hello everyone and welcome back to Brooksburk Zoo. Yeah, today is the day we are going to finish our living desert area. Yay, can you believe it? So, I said it's going to be a surprise what we are going to build in the desert area for our last habitat, and I wanted to have a big animal. I wanted to have a huge animal. Our first really big animal in here, besides the black rhino. Okay? So, what can we do? You might have seen it in the video description already and in my thumbnail. Yeah, of course, we are going to build a habitat for the giraffe. And not just for the giraffes alone, as we are doing combined habitats, we are going to give them some inhabitants that are going to live with them, and that's going to be the zebra. Okay. So here we go. First of all, let's have a look at our dromedary camels, where we built the habitat in our last episode. And as you can see right now, it works pretty fine because look here. It seems that those guests are waiting for the dromedary camels to come over so they can feed them. Well, doesn't work practically, but in theory it works out pretty fine, and it even looks like it was going to happen. So that's the cool part about that. Okay, but with our last looks, and going through the wall, with our last looks at the dromedary camel habitat, we are going to move forward and, as I said in the beginning, finally finish the living desert area. And yeah, I'm happy about that because the whole area turned out so cool, and I'm so happy about it. I'm also a little bit sad that this era is now over, but after that we can continue with something completely new. Well, maybe not in the next episode, because my thoughts are we are going to finish some of the gaps that we still do have between the connection from the living desert to our Brooksburk barn restaurant and yeah, the kind of Asian area with the gibbons, the water buffaloes, and our binturong and the small clawed otters. So there's a little bit of work to do before we are going to head back towards our entrance area and doing some work over there. But first of all, we need to build the indoor area for our giraffes, and we need to build the house. So for this house I used some inspiration. As you know, I'm doing many real-life zoo tours, and in this real-life zoo tours I visited the zoo in Dresden in Germany. And in this zoo they had a very nice, pretty, yeah, not that new giraffe house. It's almost 10 to 15 years now, so quite new, I guess. And they built it in something in a way like this, with those wooden beams and with the glass front on the backside, so that it is very light in there, so that you have much natural light in there, but from the outside it seems to be covered, so you can't see in there. But in the inside, as I said, it is very bright, and yeah, so I wanted to do it like this. And for the roof structure that we're doing in a minute, I used another inspiration, something that I had not in my mind, because it is been quite a while since I've been in that zoo, but I'm going to visit it in about 1.5 weeks, I guess. Yeah, 1.5 to 2 weeks or something like that. It is another beautiful zoo in Germany. It is the zoo in Magdeburg. So yeah, I combined those two, the zoo in Dresden and the zoo in Magdeburg's giraffe house, and made my own out of those two. And yeah, in the end I'm very happy with it. Here you can see I'm building the entrance for the giraffes, and I am quite happy. I did have to make some slight adjustments to it. yeah, because the hitbox of the giraffes is pretty big. Yeah, they are pretty big animals. So I decided before finishing the house to buy a male giraffe, as they are bigger than the females in the game and in reality as well, and find out if it actually could walk into the house and also come out of the house. So yeah, that I don't finish the whole building and in the end find out I have to do major changes to make it work, so that the animals in the end could walk into the house. So yeah, I bought the male giraffe and tried some things out, and I had to do minor changes. As I said, I had to make the whole entrance a little bit wider so that the bull could step out there, and also the holding pen that I'm going to build in a few seconds. I had to make the gate as well a little bit wider so that the animals could walk out of there. Yeah, but all in all, it worked out pretty fine. Yeah, and I also think I had to put the roof that I'm going to build right now a little bit more upwards so that the animals could pass that, but I'm not quite sure. I cut that out, and I also yeah, I just didn't record it. Yeah, so here's the thing, I'm building this little roof for the holding pen for the animals, and it is quite funny because yeah, sometimes time is on my side, and in the end, when I'm recording the real life part where you can see the habitat and the animals, one of the giraffes actually walked into the holding pen. So it didn't walk through it and into the building, but walked into the holding pen itself, and I was very happy about that because I didn't think that this is actually going to happen. But yeah, it proved that sometimes things that I'm planning yeah, do work out. And as I said, I'm very happy about that. Yeah, but some things didn't work out the way that I wanted it to. You know, when I'm building those circular shaped things, I'm always going to build it in parts, so never the whole thing at once, because it makes weird shapes. I'm going to tell you this every time that I'm doing this. For the roof, for the holding pen in front of the building, it worked out pretty fine. But for the rest of the roof, the gods of the copy and circle it around were definitely not on my side, and it was really a pain. And yeah, I cut a lot of that stuff out because the whole build took me about 6 hours. So I recorded material for 4 hours of the video, and I had to cut out lots of things because I didn't want you guys to have to watch me for 1.5 hours speed build, yeah, the whole footage, because it would have been a little bit boring. So I made it a little bit quicker for you guys so that you can enjoy it as a whole. And I also didn't want to have 2 episodes where we are going to build the same habitat. So yeah. But what was I trying to say? Yeah. The gods of copy and circle it around were not on my side for the rest of the roof, and I had to do lots of adjustments to make it work in the end. But in the end it worked out. It is not as messy as I thought it would be. It looks pretty cool, and yeah, you're going to see that in a minute. So this is something that I also saw in the pictures of the giraffe house in Magdeburg. They have something like this concrete floor right in front of the building, and where the holding pen is, that yeah, that fades into the actual habitat for the animals. So I wanted to have something like this as well. Yeah, just making those pillars look a little bit more beautiful, and after that we are going to go for the fencing for the holding pen. I also built a separate stable for the zebras, and yeah, because first of all I did the interior for the giraffe house. You're going to see that in a second, and I made 2 indoor sections for the animals, so that you actually could separate the bull from the females. And yeah, afterwards I thought, okay, maybe this is not for the bulls to be separated from the females, but it also could have been the part where the zebras are going to be kept in there. And then I thought, no, this just doesn't make sense. This would not be the case in reality. In reality, you would have separate stables for the zebra, and so I decided to build a separate building for them that we are going to build in a little bit of a backstage area. So this is going to be a completely fake building. The zebras can't even enter the building because the entrance is a little bit too small for them to go in there. So actually they are going into the stable from the giraffes, and that is something that I knew that was going to happen, because we do have all the hay bedding in there and stuff like that. You never can prevent that from happening if you're doing combined habitats with several different animal species. That's always going to happen. Like we did have it for the black rhinos and the ostrich and the gazelle and the antelope. So that's always going to happen. As I said, you can't prevent that. You can prevent bigger animals to get into the stables from the smaller animals because of their hitbox, but you can prevent small animals from going into the stables of bigger ones. They will always do that. The funny thing is that I built something for the white rhinos and the Thompson gazelle in Arizona Adventure Park. I knew that exactly. And I also built a house for the white rhino where the guests could walk in, so and they could watch the white rhinos if they were indoors and not on their habitat. And the funny thing about that was I built it exactly the way that it should be built, so that the white rhinos could walk into their house and could leave it, so that everything works with the hitbox from them. And in the end, the rhinos never walked into the house. I just don't know why. They just didn't walk in there, and every time you went in there, there was always one of the gazelles in there and sleeping on the hay bedding for the rhinos. So that was a little bit annoying, but as I said, you can't prevent that from happening. Maybe if we got something like a mechanic in the game where you can select the animals that could walk into a building, but I think that would be a little bit too complicated for programming, I think. And I don't know if that would make that much sense or be that much of a game changer, so that Frontier is actually thinking about that. I don't think so. I would be happy if we are going to get separate entrances for one habitat. That would be pretty cool. That would be a game changer. But yeah, let's see what we get with the next DLC. That I think is going to be released. Let me think about it. We had the Arid Animal Pack in late June, I think. Was it late June or early July? So then it would be, if it was late June, I'm very bad at dates. If it was late June, it would be July, August. Yeah, late September, early October maybe. That could be happening. Yeah, and I'm very excited for what's going to come next. I'm really hoping for some birds. I know this is, yeah, we're waiting for them for such a long time, and many of you guys think, and I also thought, that it was not going to happen, but I think it actually could happen. Maybe not with birds that you actually keep in an aviary, like owls or parrots or something like that, but maybe in case of something like secretary birds, pelicans, what else do we have? Secretary birds, pelicans, yeah, ducks, swans, geese, maybe a new crane species, pheasant or something like that. You know, all those birds that can fly but usually don't do that much. Maybe a stork as well. That would be possible as well. So yeah, I'm still keeping my hopes up that we might get one or the other bird in the game still, and I would be so thankful if it actually was some waterfowls. That would be so great. Oh, and we still are waiting for farm animals, so like pigs and cows and donkeys and goats, sheep and rabbits, stuff like that. So that actually could be the case as well, but yeah, you never know. Okay, so finishing things up, you saw that I did the interior for the house, and also a little backstage area, nothing very special. Once again, just some props for our staff. And here I was going to build something that I also saw on those photos from Magdeburg Zoo. That is something like a water suspender for the giraffes, where they can have a drink. And I wanted to have something like this as well for the animals, and just put it right there. And I also wanted to build some custom feeders. That is going to happen right next now. You'll see that in a minute. Yeah. Using those European fencing pieces and just hanging up a feeder right there. So the idea is that you can move it up or down if you have to fill it up a little bit, or if you have to move it a little bit higher for the animals. Yeah, building something like a basket right now. Yeah, just like this, all the way around, and on the bottom as well. Yeah, perfect. And then just putting some of this dry grass pieces in there that looks like hay or straw or something like that. That is the perfect match for those feeders. Yeah, and here you can already see it's not that hard to build something like that. And it still makes quite a difference. Yeah, so here we are. This is where things got a little bit frustrating for me, but yeah, as I said, in the end it all worked out. I was going to build the roof for the animals. So I was using those grass roof pieces that we got from the conservation DLC, I think it was, and just put some of those Aristida grass in there. The green one and later on the dry one as well, to give it a little bit of a color variation. And this is exactly the roof that I saw from the zoo in Magdeburg. Just copying around and circle it around, and here you can already see that the grid was off this time. So yeah, I should have seen it that it's not going to work. There had to be one piece in there that didn't match, but yeah, as I said, in the end I found a solution to that. It was a little bit finicky and I had to make some minor adjustments, and yeah, but in the end it all worked out. Yeah, so here's the little interior right now that I was talking about before. So yeah, I didn't have a closer look to the video, so I didn't see what I was talking about because I was totally in my head. But here is now the part that I was talking about. So yeah, doing some staff material in here, like we almost every time do. So nothing very special. Just some wooden pillars to give the whole building a little bit more of support in here. And make it look a little bit nicer, because I thought it looked a little bit too clean. Something was missing, so I had to put in those wooden pieces. Yeah, and here you can see I cut out the process where I was building the stable for the zebras. So I just put down the building right there on the background and have something like a gate in here as well, so that we could lock up the animals at night and let them out on the savannah the next day. Or even though we could separate the zebras from the giraffes, maybe when the giraffes have a baby. And some of the zebras, especially the Giraffes zebra that we don't have in the game yet, maybe we will get it at some point. The Giraffes zebra is a little bit like a pot stirrer, so they are pretty aggressive, and it is always better when you have small animals or baby animals on a savanna that you have combined with them than to separate the zebras until the baby is comfortable around all of the other animals, so that you combine them with the zebras for last animals. Yeah, I think at this point, no, we're not completely finished with the roof. There's one last piece missing, so I wanted to have something like a glass roof there. I think in Magdeburg they have something like this as well. I'm not quite sure, but I think they do, because I didn't want the building to be too dark inside. Yeah, of course we do have those glass pieces all around, but to be fair, we also do have those wooden beams all around it, so that it is getting a little bit dark in here. So I decided I wanted to have something like a glass roof on top of it, so that we do get a lot of light, or a little bit more of light in there. Yeah, and here I had the same issue with those pieces, because they didn't match up, so I had to adjust every single one a little bit, and yeah, in the end I finished it. It worked out. We don't have any weird gaps in here, and yeah. So for the last pieces of the roof, I used those metal beams and put some glass pieces around them. And then just circled it around, copy and rotate it, and yeah, that's it. Here you can see the finished product. You could also see that I changed the roof from the holding pan a little bit. That is because, as I said in the beginning of the video, it was a little bit too low for the animals, and I couldn't lift it up anymore. So I decided I changed the angle of the roof, just for the part where they could walk into the house, and now everything works out pretty fine. The female giraffes don't have any problem with it at all, but as I said, the male is a little bit bigger and has a different hitbox than a female, and so I had to change it for the male. Otherwise the male had to stay out of the building and had to sleep outside, and that is something that I didn't want. Yeah, and the last thing that I was building is this piece right here. Yeah, in the last episode we built something like a feeding station for the dromedary camel. If I knew at that point that I was going to build for the giraffe, I maybe wouldn't have built the feeding station for the dromedary, but would have built something for the giraffes, which is very much more common than a feeding station for the dromedary camel. But yeah, it is what it is. We are not going to build a feeding station for the giraffes right next to the dromedary camel, because this would be a little bit weird. So I just built something like a viewing platform for our visitors, which actually our visitors can't use. I could have built one that our visitors actually use, but I wouldn't have been able to build it the way that I did it right here with those wooden stairs. Yeah, it just wouldn't have been possible, and the whole thing would have been so much bigger, and I just wanted to have something like a small, tiny, nice little viewing platform that fits the area here perfectly. So I decided I'm going to build something like that, even though it is not usable for our guests. So whatever. But it looks nice, and that's all that I was going to achieve with it. Yeah, here I'm creating the actual platform for the visitors. And as I said in the last episode, these feeding or animal encounters are very common in some zoos in the US, or in many zoos in the US, not that much in Europe, or especially in Germany. I can't remember, or I can't think about any zoo in Germany where you actually can have something like an animal encounter. I don't know if there is something like feeding giraffes or other animals in Germany. Just let me know in the comment section if there is actually. I can remember, yeah, I can pretty much remember that it is possible in zoos in the Czech Republic, especially in the zoo in Prague, where I had the opportunity to feed the bongo antelopes in May this year. You're going to see the video in, I think, in about 6 weeks or so, on my channel with the real life zoo tours. Of course, I recorded that part. Yeah, but as I said, I can't remember any zoo in Germany where you can actually feed animals. Don't know why that is like this. Yeah, on one hand, I think it is not necessary for guests to be able to feed the animals, because you should learn something about the animals. You should be able to see the animals, but the interaction with them is always a little bit, yeah, very controversial, I think. Because in the end, they should not be too comfortable with people around them, because especially for animals that are going to be bred in the zoos and being released to the wild. So if an animal is too comfortable around humans and is not going to be shy anymore, it's going to be very, very difficult for those, and maybe they are not going to be released into the wild anymore. So here I was going to build the roof for our viewing platform. Yeah, don't care about the piece count. Okay, but it looks very, very pretty. Yeah, and here we are with the final steps of this video already. Doing some planting and some rock work. Well, rock work is already done. I love this Aristida grass. Aristida grass is the name. I always put that in the middle of those fake rocks from the aquatic DLC, because it looks so good, and I do love this creosote bush. It has such a difficult name, but it is so beautiful. That is absolutely my favorite plant from the new DLC, from the Arid Animal Pack. I love to put it down everywhere, because if you sink it into the ground, it gives such a nice texture and such a nice and thick grassy texture. I really love that. Yeah, I know. In the end, if you look at this, for a desert habitat, it is quite green. But yeah, I really do like that. And to be honest with you, if it's raining in the desert, it is very green there. Everything is coming out of the sand, and it's blooming, and it's colorful, and so yeah, I just like that. And we don't have to forget, even though we are in the living desert area, we still are somewhere in Europe or North America or wherever where this zoo is going to be. And yeah, we're not in a desert environment actually. So this is all artificial here, and yeah, so it can be green in here. So doing some trees on the outside, and then I think we are already finished and it is time for the real-time part. So let's have a look at our beautiful new habitat here in Brooksburk Zoo for the giraffes and the zebras. As I said, in the next episode, I think we are going to fill out some gaps that we do have in here to make the connection between the Asian area and the living desert area. So I think it's going to be like 2 more habitats that we have to build in here. If you have any suggestions for what animals could be in here, yeah, just leave a comment and let me know what you think might be a great match. I'm thinking about the clouded leopard especially, maybe yeah, as connection between the the right side of the habitat for the otters and the binturong, and to connect it with our living desert area. So yeah, let me know what you think about that. And yeah, we also do need another animal, maybe a smaller one as well. Oh, and here you can see what I was talking about, the giraffe in the holding pen. Isn't it amazing that it is able to go in there? This is so cool. Yeah, okay. So with those last pictures here from the animals and the habitat, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys did like the habitat and the buildings that I did for this. And if you did so, don't forget to hit the like button. Oh shoot, I did not say it at the beginning of the video, but I still hope you find the like button. And also do subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any further episodes of Brooksburk Zoo, Litchfield Zoo, Real Life Zoo Tours, Siebentischwald. Baking will start again in late fall, and yeah, leave a comment in the comment section below, because I'm always happy to read what you guys think about what I'm doing, and I'm also happy to read your suggestions and your advice. So hope to see you guys next time, next Monday, for a new episode in Brooksburk Zoo. Bye!